Hey, what's up? This is Mike Signoli.
And I'm a kitty cat.
And we're here in the sub for your special Halloween edition question of the week.
This week's question is, if you could suck any celebrity's blood, whose would it be and why?
I definitely wouldn't suck anyone's blood. I don't care if they were Oprah Winfrey.
I would suck Will Smith's blood so I could be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Well, honestly, I'm not 100% sure whose blood I would like to suck, but I would not like to suck Angelina Jolie's because you know there's a whole lot of STDs going around in there.
If I could suck any celebrity's blood, it would probably be Brad Pitt, just because I'd get close to him.
Sucking a celebrity's blood. I don't think I'd like to suck any of them because who knows what's going around in Hollywood.
I would suck Drew Barrymore's blood because she's very beautiful.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Monica. That was your question of the week. Stay tuned for more Wilkes World.
And we're back. And me being K-Fed, you know, Britney Spears. But anyway, going with the Halloween theme, I got two Halloween stories to go along with it, obviously. So the first one, in Australia, what they're doing now is Australian cemeteries are training gravediggers as lifeguards. And they are using defibrillators to jumpstart hearts of grief-stricken mourners who collapse at funerals. What do you think about that?
Interesting.
A little disturbing.
Yeah, right. The chief executive of Melbourne's Cheltenham Cemeteries, I butchered that one, I don't even know. Vicky Pridmore said that a lot of people are old, so the people who come to the services are frail and they are vulnerable anyway. So it's kind of like heartless to say, like.
Wow, that is intense.
You know, like, that's pretty mean. She said that we had a couple recently who had strokes and called the ambulance 4 or 5 times this year already. So just like, how old are these people? And like, they're that upset that people are dying like that? That's crazy.
I don't know. That's a very interesting story.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah. Interesting article.
It was very
as
odd.
usual.
Yeah. The next one, I just saw it and I started laughing. So in California, a former jailhouse officer in San Luis Obispo County was charged with flashing a female inmate and having others expose themselves in exchange for candy bars. So just like going along with Halloween theme. So.
That's awesome.
A pretrial hearing is scheduled for Stephen Irish, who was 23. And he's charged with misdemeanor indecent exposure and being a jail employee engaging in sexual activity with a confined person. The prosecutor, Stephen Brown, said the former jail officer allegedly offered candy bars and would deliver notes to male inmates in exchange for female inmates flashing him.
Wow.
So,
That's interesting.
different things
People
are going on
do
in
really
jail.
crazy things.
Different
For
things.
candy bars, apparently.
Kids, when you go out trick-or-treating,
Keep your clothes on.
keep your clothes on. And don't take candy bars from jail officers. So.
All right, so let's check out this PSA that we're gonna. I don't know. Let's see it.
Hi everybody, and welcome once again to the 4-Minute Gourmet. I'm Mark.
And there's Joanna.
And what we're going to do today is cook some Caribbean shrimp. And this is kind of my own recipe, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but it seems like it should be very interesting, and I'm going to trust you to taste it and let me know how it is.
Sure. So what do we have here? Like, what kind of shrimp is that?
Okay, well that's a standard shrimp. It's what's called 35-40 shrimp. In other words, about 35 to 40 shrimp per pound. Relatively inexpensive because they're relatively small. But what I've done for the shrimp is I've butterflied them. Do you know what that means?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, for butterflying, what I do is I take the shrimp, and after I take the shell off, I leave the tail on, and then I split it down the back. Basically, all I did was put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper on the shrimp, and we're ready to go. And I left the tails on because a lot of people say that if you cook shellfish with the shell on, it adds a little bit of extra flavor. So I left the tails on there.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's actually pretty interesting to know.
Yeah. So Caribbean shrimp. Let's go through the ingredients quickly. Basically, what I have here is some mint. I have that chopped. Some chefs would call it a chiffonade, sliced really small and thin. But I have about a tablespoon of that. I have about 2 tablespoons of red bell pepper. That's our second ingredient. Then I have some mango. kind of giving it that Caribbean flavor. And then finally some coconut milk. And I got the coconut milk in a can.
What ingredient do you think is the most, like, the one that is going to give it the best Caribbean flavor?
Well, what I'm kind of thinking is, I'm thinking kind of the mint and the mango are going to work really well together to kind of give it a nice tang. And I think the coconut milk is going to add a little bit of nice Caribbean flavor as well. So I think it should be really interesting. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the shrimp. I have some butter already melting in a pan here. Okay. And this is a non-stick pan, and we're going to do what's called a saute. And a saute just means that we're going to cook this over high heat very quickly, and we're going to keep it moving around. Now, the red bell peppers are going to take the longest to get done. So we're going to
that's what we put first.
They're going in first. You got it. And we're going to crank up the heat there. And then, second thing we're going to put in is the shrimp. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, do we need, like, to move that as it's cooking?
As it's cooking, what we're going to do is move it around, but I'm going to show you in a second or two exactly how we're going to move it around.
Will it produce like some sort of sauce or something?
Exactly. What we're going to do is when we add these two ingredients, the coconut milk and the mango, that's going to actually create its own sauce. And what we're going to do is plate it up. We'll use some nice mint in order to garnish it. Now, sauteing means you move it around. So what we're going to do is that, and then we're going to toss it like that. Looks like you jumped back there. So we're going to do that. So we're going to keep things moving around. And now the next ingredient that we're going to pop in is going to be the mango. Yep. So we're going to put the mango in. Okay. We're going to add the mint relatively close to the end. All right. Because that's going to be a nice flavoring ingredient. And I'm going to be relying on you in another about 30 seconds to a minute once this starts cooking a little bit more to add some of that coconut. So again, saute. We're going to toss that around by itself. Shrimp are easy because you can look at them, and when they turn that nice pink translucent color, you know that they're done and they're ready to go.
Do you recommend like boiling the shrimp, like if they're freezed out before doing this process?
If they're frozen beforehand, there's nothing wrong with frozen shrimp, but what I would recommend is one of two things. Either put them in the refrigerator and thaw them in the refrigerator, okay, until they're nice and thawed, or put them into cold water, a little cold water bath in the refrigerator until they're thawed out. What you don't want to do is put them out on the counter and let them warm up as they thaw, because what we want to be careful of is any kind of foodborne illness, and if we leave shrimp out on the counter a little bit too long, it can create problems. So we don't want to do that. So we're getting very close here. We're going to toss that around a little bit more. In fact, plate things up, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just lay that shrimp and so on out right there. Okay, that's going to go back there. Then we have that as garnish. And there we have our Caribbean shrimp. Very quick, very simple,
It looks good.
very, very inexpensive.
It looks so good,
You wanna give it a try? Might be on the hot side.
I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Yeah. Should I? I'm going to do this. I usually do
That's
this.
fine, yep. Pull that off. And don't burn your tongue. Be careful.
It's very hot, I guess,
It's
right?
on the warm side.
Okay.
Give it a try.
I'm going to be honest.
Okay, be honest. That's what we're relying on you for. Okay? What's the honest appraisal?
It's actually very
It's good? You like it?
I like it.
How much
I
more
like
honest?
it. Like,
how much more honest can you get? You like it?
I like it. It, like, you can taste, like, how it tastes is very good.
Wonderful.
It's actually kind of Caribbean, just as you plan it to be. It's great. I love it.
Good. Well, I'm glad. Well, another success on the 4-Minute Gourmet. I'm Mark.
And this is Joanne.
Have a great time. We'll catch you next time.